me.
Laurel.
Believe me. It's showtime. It's showtime. It's showtime, y'all. Once again, we finally back. Last month had some difficulties, but that's life. So this time is a very special show, and we say that all the time because all the shows are special, but this is extremely special. We're gonna put it extremely on because we're back where this whole concept first started. In 2008, started doing Man in the Mirror at my house with some very close friends, and we had a lot of fun doing it, all men. And now, this is the first time ever since doing the podcast that I'm doing it from the comfort of my home. And the people that I got in the home, they got to be family, because I ain't just letting anybody in. So, we're gonna have a very special show, and we got a very important topic tonight. Vital, and we can build from this because this is a consistent process that we're gonna talk about tonight. But we're gonna, we all family, so we're gonna chop it up. And man, we was chopping it. Man, we did so much chopping it up before the camera started rolling. Man, but man, it's endless things to talk about when it comes to these guys. So you know me, I'm Boo Jones. This is Man and the Mirror Show. It's a talk show that matters, and we call it The because it's a personal journey. So let me start introducing my distinguished guests, family. Like I said, to my far right, I gotta go the youngest. It's my man Bruce, right? Bruce a little younger than me, but he in my age bracket, so we kind of like grew up together. We from the good AVA, Alexandria, Virginia. You don't know what that means. Yeah, I like to say, people say, well, man, you from you from Virginia. I said, man, I'm from Alexandria. It's a difference. So I want to introduce my man Bruce. Bruce, welcome, man.
Thank you, Boo.
Welcome.
I appreciate the invite, man. It means a lot, man, to be a part of this show tonight. Man. When you called me Sunday, man, and asked me what I do, I didn't even think twice about it. You know what I mean? It's an honor. You know what I mean? Especially to be sitting on the couch with a bunch of, legends. You know what I mean? Because like you said, I was young. You know what I mean? And I didn't know my man here, but right. You and Glenn, I came up underneath both of y'all. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's an honor, man, to be here.
Man, love you, man. Love you, and I don't know the age of both of these young young scrappy guys. Well, I know Glenn told us a few minutes ago, but I'm gonna go back across the bridge for a minute, right? I'm gonna go across the bridge. Coming up, I also people if they know my story, man, I wasn't no planet person, man. Coming up. I was always like a gypsy. My mom moved like a gypsy, but she moved like a gypsy in Alexandria. So I lived in Alexandria, but I had a cousin that was like my brother, that my grandmother, because I was raised by my grandmother on my dad's side, Miss Ledbetter, until I was 7. And I was born at Alexandria Hospital, but I was raised by her. And she had me living there all over Bellis Cross Road, Columbia Pike, Green Valley. She had us living there all over different other places. But one of the places that my aunt had 9 kids lived in Eastgate. Well, they actually lived by the big chair before they moved to Eastgate when I was real young. But they moved to Eastgate when I was about maybe 5, 6 years old. And me and my cousin Fred, we'll stay at each other's house because a lot of people know Fred from Alexandria growing up.
Right.
He has so much history coming over there staying with me, and vice versa. And that's when I met this guy. I think I was 5 years old, man. Fred looked up to him, and I seen why. When I got over there, he was just like a big brother, man. We followed this guy around, and back then, if people know, every black man wanted to be a karate man. For real. You talking about the 70s?
If you never practiced any brothers.
Yeah, you want to be a karate man. But this is where I knew a guy over in Virginia that was serious too, right? That I grew up under. But when I got over there, him and his brother, man, they was real serious. I thought they was hanging with Bruce Lee,
So we used to try to be.
Yeah, and that's what we
Bruce Lee.
But that was our heroes back then.
and always had a good spirit. I can go on and on, man. We all, we all had life challenges, but man, it was. I ran back into him. We're gonna talk about that, how we hooked back up after all them years, man. And I'm gonna give you Sly.
Yeah, we were real serious when we were younger, though, right? We had a ball. We trained like 6 days a week for, I want to say, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after 10 years, you get a little burnt out, We had a good time, man. We had tournaments. We had tournaments every week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we fought up and down the East Coast. Saw the politics and fighting. At a young age. You know what I mean? So it taught us about life. I mean, what we learned in the arts, it taught us discipline, how to go about, being a better person and being a righteous person.
Yeah.
So all that goes together, man.
Yeah.
It helped me in my life, especially when I went through those valleys, valleys in life. That's where you get you learn, you grow.
Yeah.
My aunt tell me, you pay for your learning.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So I'm grateful that I learned, man. A lot of people see it, but they don't take it. They don't take heed. I've learned off a lot of other people's mistakes. I don't have to always go through.
Yeah.
But I can always appreciate this life, and then you learn. Life is a lesson, man. So, and it's not a 50-yard dash. It's a marathon.
It's a marathon. On that note,
yes, sir.
On that note, man, we're gonna dive into a whole lot of stuff. I just want to get y'all introductions, out the way, and I appreciate that, man. And this guy, always say last but not least. Bruce talking about how he came up under us. I came up under this guy, and a lot of guys like him, man. They were examples, man. Like I was saying about you, Sly, but these guys I've been knowing, man, before I was 5. So, they always, man, if you hear stories about back then, it's a lot different than now. They wouldn't want us to be on the strips and all that stuff, right? When we was kids, my grandmother lived in the projects in Alexandria. And right by her projects was the brick wall.
Yep.
Right there on Madison Street.
Mm-hmm.
And my great grandfather lived next door to his own daughter.
Yep.
That's a whole nother story. But yeah, but the brick wall was right there, right? So we could sit on the porch. There's a lot of activity going on at the brick wall. The brick wall is famous.
Yeah.
It's famous.
Everything going on.
Everything going on at the brick wall. So we seen a lot at an early age.
Right.
But they didn't let us hang down the brick wall when things was going on. You know what I'm saying? No, we we bad kids. We try to sneak over there and see what's going on. But I observed, like you was talking about, man. I observed some things, man, and some things I processed wrong.
Right.
Right. But always been respectful, man. And that's the thing about everybody on this panel. Always been respectful through the whole course of life that we've known each other. And that I've known all you guys, y'all always been respectful. And this guy right here is epitome of class and respect. Mr. Glenn Cherry.
Thanks for the introduction, bro. Yeah, I'm just happy to be here, man. Glad you asked me out. When we met a couple of weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? You asked me come out. I told you I would, and I stuck to my word, and you stuck to yours. So that's been our long time relationship. You know what I'm saying? We say we're gonna do something, we try to stand up to our word, own up to our word. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
I'm the type of guy. If I give you $10 a day, you say you're gonna get it back Tuesday. That's what I'm be expecting it Tuesday.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? No later. So and I'm the same way. I give it back the same way if I had to. But those are principles that I brought up on. That's all I'm saying. So a lot of guys like yourself, believe it or not, come to me today, and I don't even know them. I don't even know him. I swear I don't know him because they was young. It's like you say, you was young,
Right.
but you was a little more closer to me. See what I'm saying? Because your family was closer to me.
Yeah.
So I knew you, but I didn't know all these other young guys that looked at me when I was coming up boxing and all. They come to me like, man, I'll be like, I'm trying to figure out who is this? But I mean, I'm inspired by that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I never knew how I touched people's lives.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, in this world, in this journey through life, man, some people are there for different reasons. Some are to stay.
Yeah.
Some are just passing by.
Yeah.
Some are your blessings.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to put it in perspective. You know what I'm saying? Because like everybody that's in your circle is not there to stay.
That's right.
So,
And on that note, I don't know. I'm gonna reiterate what the topic is tonight. The topic is just simply overcome.
Overcome.
We ain't say, I ain't say overcoming over this. Just man, overcome. Because that, and Bruce said this before we got started. Bruce said, man, that's a topic that I'm doing it on a daily basis.
every day.
And everybody, we chimed in. So, what we're gonna do now, man, we're gonna talk about some of the challenges, man, in the past. Then we're gonna bring about what happened, whatever it is, what you want to share, and then how it is right now. I'll tell you, like, I can start it. So just for example, like, man, it was a challenge when I was young because my mother, I was the only child my mother had for 8 years. And we didn't know, at one time when I had a stepfather who was getting some money, I got a lot of stuff. My grandmother, she did what she could do. You know what I'm saying? But when it came down to that extravagant stuff, I got that for a short period of time. And I'm gonna tell you, so that could be a real drug too. when you getting fur, mink coats, and all that, and mini bikes. I stayed in a place called Cameron Valley. I was saying, and I was 7 years old when I moved my mom. I had a mini bike, fur coats, all that stuff, right? And then they break up. Then I'm getting football sets with no football men in it. And stuff like that.
You had two teams coming with the set?
Different jerseys.
You had to go buy your friends team.
Hey, look, and then I'm on the joint where you go at H&L Green, where they take you down there and you can't get stuff on this side for Christmas. but you can get stuff over here that I don't want.
Cheaper side.
Yeah. Some kind of thing they were doing for underprivileged kids.
That was
See,
kind of whole.
Nah,
Yeah, that right?
nah, it was it might have been Murphy's. The joint down there on Washington Street.
Oh yeah.
Off of Washington on King Street.
GT Murphy's.
Yeah, that joint. So stuff like that, then they used to have a shopping center out in Alexandria called Grand Union.
Yep.
Right? And then, I'm playing for Patrick Henry basketball, and I get the shoes that slide across the floor, made out of the same plastic as the toys.
Uh-oh.
So I understand challenges, man, overcoming. It started when I was young. So that's why I want to talk about stuff like that. And coming out your way on Easter, over Eastgate, y'all, I think I was about 8 years old. So my aunt take me to Morton's.
Oh, yeah.
So I go down there, I go get my Easter suit at Morton's, then I get some play clothes.
Yeah.
Then I come back, I said, I'm gonna put my play clothes on, go outside. So I come out there, and all the Eastgatians start laughing. I ain't hip. I ain't hip to what they laughing about. Then they start singing songs. Jeepers. It'll make your feet feel fine. Jeepers.
Yeah.
It costs $1.99.
That's right.
And then one dude hit me with this one. Is still to this day, I can laugh at it now. He said, "Man, you look like a Morton's mannequin." But that's enough. That's just some of the challenges, man, that we all deal with as kids. And a lot of times, if we don't know to learn how to express it. That's why this is very important. It's a very important topic. Because if I don't know how to express it right, then it'll go inward. It'll go inward. And then if I don't deal with it,
Pressure bust pipe.
come on.
Yeah.
So anybody, want
Boy, it's funny you say that, right? Because I grew up, with a mother and a father in the house, right? And I'll never forget, we all know that the infamous Queen Street, right?
Yeah.
That's what my dad, all his friends and hung at. My dad wasn't a street guy.
So what was Queen Street? So for people that don't know,
yeah, Alexandria, Virginia was a street called Queen Street.
it's like 17.
Yeah.
It's like a smaller version of 17.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when I was like 10, 9, 10 years old, my dad put me, my brothers in the car, and he called himself taking us on a ride of life.
Okay.
And he took us around with all the places that he felt like we need to see and what happened on those places, in those places, so we wouldn't get caught up in the in the craziness, right?
Right.
And you would think as a child, you see that type of trauma, you see his friends, start hanging out there when they was teenagers and they still there 50, 60 years old.
Wow.
You never think it's gonna happen to you. You know what I'm saying? So that was one of the things I had to overcome, following my own footsteps instead of listening to the guidance of my dad.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Because he always had more advice, more experience than I had.
Right.
But I wanted to do my own thing because I was watching all the guys that he thought I would turn me away, the action they were doing, but it attracted me to it.
Right.
So for a long time, I lived a life, man, chasing behind somebody else's lifestyle,
Right.
instead of my own.
Right.
Coming up, I wanted to play football, basketball, chase girls.
Yeah.
But then I got caught up in the streets.
Yeah.
And you don't know when you first start. You don't know. You know what I'm saying? You don't know it's gonna be a lifetime experience.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? For some people, they get it. After they first lock up or something like that.
Yeah.
That ain't happened for me. It took me, man, all my life to see the lessons and the blessings that my father was giving me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And challenges, the overcoming part of it, it can be detrimental.
Oh, no question.
It can be detrimental, man, what you go through year after, going in jail, you tell yourself these lies, I'm gonna come home and do better. You know what I'm saying? As soon as you get around your friends, you're right back at it. It don't take long either. You know what I mean?
No, it don't.
I'm a bill on that too, because being one who came from out of that environment, for doing so many years, the decade and some, that was a challenge for me to come out here and try to make things different.
Yeah.
because I see so many people that fell under that recidivism situation. Keep returning back to the same old vomit, whatever. That's recidivism. Definition of that is a person keeps returning. The definition of recidivism is a person that's insane. That keeps
right.
There's something different happening from doing the same thing.
Right.
So I had my mind was set to give me some tools to come out here with to work with. So if I ever came back to fall with that mindset again, that I could bring some tools out of that bag. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause that's what you have to work with. It's like a tool, like a man going to work, carpenter going to work with no tools, with a bag empty.
Yeah.
What good is it going to do him?
Right.
See what I'm saying? They don't have no tools now. So I had to learn some things while I was in there. And
Let me. I want them to hear this because you touch on it and you touched on it. But you had a guide, right?
yes,
Somebody to show you how to use the tools because you can have a whole shiny tool belt if you don't know how to use them.
it does you no good.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah.
So and that's right. I I went to when I was in, of course I turned to Islam and I learned from Islam the discipline that they gave me. They showed me another life, a way to live without being destructive. You know what I'm saying? It gave me the knowledge of self. It did a lot for me. It changed my life. Put it like that. It changed my life. So my perspective on life was different when I came home. I didn't want to be around people that wasn't in the same light that I was in. If you was walking in dark, we was still cool, but I had to walk in the light. Bro, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
sorry.
That's
I
right.
had to walk in the light.
Right.
So that's the way I played myself when I came out of here, because I saw a lot of my buddies still doing the same thing after all them years I've been locked up. They were still doing the same thing when I came home. But they wanted to be my friend. But we were still friends. Just from a distance, though.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? 'Cause I had other thing. I had a whole new agenda. And so one thing led to another, man. I just got on the right track. I just kept saying, never stop looking, keep moving. So I took one job. When I came home, believe it or not, people don't even know. I worked for PetSmart, selling fish.
Yeah, that's
You know what I mean?
hey,
Selling
look,
fish.
that's it.
My pride. I stuck my pride in my pocket.
That's
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's right.
And when I went from selling fish, I moved up to cashier.
Yeah.
I thought that was a little bit more money. So then things just kept on trickling because I kept looking, I kept praying.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, I got a job with Metro Access.
Come on.
From Metro Access, I got a job with the trash company.
Come on.
From the trash company, I got a job with Metro. So it just kind of moved on and on and on and on. But I never stopped looking. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Never let nothing stop me from looking. So
See, so when we talk about overcoming, I want y'all to understand we're not talking about doing it the legal way. We ain't talking about going back into our old practices.
and getting more money than
Yeah.
we made it to
And
the
think
big league.
that mean you getting it.
Yeah, you think you make it to the big league because you getting money.
Yeah.
Right. That's not the big league. What you really just doing is waiting on your turn to come.
Oh, your turn coming.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's coming.
Cause how you gonna beat somebody at their own game?
And you know what, Glenn? It's crazy because before you went and did that time, man, you was hanging out.
Yeah.
And
Closest,
you came home, man, with a different mindset. Right?
Oh no, question.
You came home with a different mindset. So in the process of him being gone at 14 years, I had been in and out numerous times.
You told
You know
me.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Numerous times. You know what I mean? And I'm feeling bad because they inside waiting to get home.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going back and forth, back and forth.
That's
You know
it.
what I mean? Back and
That's
forth.
my
back and
story
forth.
right
You know
there.
what I'm saying?
That's my story.
But the reason why I kept going back and forth because I never went in with a plan.
Right.
See, a lot of people think they can go do time, man, and get out and make a plan.
Right.
It don't work like that.
No.
Stars in
It
this.
started there.
They sure
So
do.
this last time, you know what I did? I stayed in solitary confinement for the first 9 months.
Yeah.
Everybody was telling me, come on over to Papa. I said, nah, man. I got a whole lot of empty holes, man, that's in here. And this is my last time.
Right.
I promised God, man. I said, man, when I'm not going to be the same man coming out here as I'm coming in here.
That's right.
Question.
And I allowed God, man, to fill up those empty holes, right? All of them.
Yeah.
Before I moved on. Then I went to the population and I didn't know the guys was watching me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Watching how I'm walking, how I'm
Mhm.
talking, how I'm carrying myself. And I remember a few years before that, my mom died. And I was mad with God, right? I said, God, why would you take the woman, the only person I knew was praying for me? Who gonna pray for me now?
Right.
God said, you're gonna learn how to pray for yourself.
Yeah.
Man, in jail, man, where people have pride and you have all this ego and stuff. I had to leave that at home.
Yeah.
I came in there with no pride, no ego, and everything for the first time out of all these years I was doing this, repeat offender.
Right.
I finally said, you know what, this is how, because I watch other people like him. How you come home for 14 years and progress more than people that ain't never been nowhere.
Man, I tell you, man. I tell you.
Huh?
God.
God.
Yes, sir.
God.
Yes, sir.
And prayer.
And
Yes, sir.
Prayer,
Yes,
prayer.
sir.
Believe it or not, I tell everybody, bro. Prayer is powerful, bro.
Very
If you
powerful.
don't believe in the power of prayer, all you gotta do is one day get in trouble and then pray about it. See
No,
what,
no question.
see what
And
happens.
see, it's a how-to to everything. You know, you just can't go out there and say I'm gonna fix a car and do it any kind of way. It's the kind of way that it works. This watch is made a certain way that it's designed each piece in the right position to work. And that's where a lot of times we fall short, especially among the inner city people, right? Us. You know, we fall short because we figure like we're gonna do something that we never did before without letting somebody guide us. Because you said it, man. Somebody was instrumental. Yeah, somebody had to get and the key thing is that I be humble enough to let them teach me.
You know the thing that sticks out with me, you know, the whole and he was matter of fact, he was key to me changing my life around. You don't even know.
Yeah.
When I called home, he told me that, gave me that message. That told me apart.
Yeah, me too.
And from that point on, I made a concerted effort, man, to change my life. I said I did not want to come back in here and have go through the same thing again, having to call home, somebody give me some bad news like that.
Right.
I said, man, I would never do that again. And that's when matter of fact, that's when I joined the nation and started to, practice Islam. So
You said practice that word.
practice. This practice is the application.
I remember as a kid, this guy I thought the dude was his name, but was it the dude? They was kept saying sensei, sensei this, sensei that. When they was young over Eastgate doing karate, I said, man, sensei must be a very influential guy, right? I thought that was his name, but it was his title. Right. And you and your brother was like real, and your brother actually, you told me this yourself. You said he was more dedicated.
Yeah, he was.
What does that mean? Since what does that mean?
Teacher. Teacher. Yeah. Just teacher. Yeah. But that's what before we talked about the thing, and it's very important that we get this message across. That man, if you finding yourself doing the same things, then you need to be taught something different. It don't just happen by osmosis. The reason why I'm sitting here right now and my life changed dramatically. 23 years ago, I was homeless. Yeah, in the street. Doing all kind of wild stuff. And now sitting here in my right mind,
Amen.
a home owner.
Amen.
That's
God is good.
Right. All the
Come
time.
on, man.
All the time.
God is good.
I ain't never had no car. I ain't never had no license, y'all. I got legal license and a car sitting on front.
That's
When
what's
you
up.
told me that about a year ago, I couldn't believe it. I said, boy, you ain't a license book.
Yeah, you don't see me
But
driving.
every time I see you in the car, somebody car, you somebody
He get there though.
He get there.
He get
Yeah,
there.
yeah, man. Rental rocks and stolen
It
cars.
was easy to get a car back then.
Yeah.
You used to get somebody car. You had it for a whole week or two.
Yeah,
sir.
man, it's
You know,
crazy.
a month.
Yeah,
That's right.
and so
With
that
a line
lifestyle,
down, just get another.
that lifestyle, man, is really a death style.
Yeah.
We use words, but man, we talking about overcoming it tonight. We're not talking about the problem. We trying to talk about the solution.
Yeah.
Because there got to be a solution.
Oh, no question.
You know, and man, I got you guys here, man. This is it's also an honor for me.
Yeah.
That you guys came out, man. It ain't just one way. I want you to know that.
So, Boo, when you talk about, overcoming, man, like I said, it's an everyday for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about nobody else, but for me, it's a practice. I got to practice every day. Because
Oh, no question.
Bruce, he's like my dad used to tell me, man, you need to stay away from your twin. As long as your twin ain't around you, good people. So
Yeah.
if your twin get around you,
Yeah.
man, you trouble.
Yeah.
So now I tell my twin, shut the F up. I
That's
got
right.
this.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get on my shoulder and say, "Yeah, let's do this." Nah, I got this, man. We don't need you no more. But it's an everyday struggle. Well, not a struggle because, You know, I got it in my mind, and you know, anything that you become consistent becomes easier.
That's
You know
true.
what I mean?
That's true.
When you consistent
true.
doing certain things, it become easier.
That's right.
This coming. All I've been home 5 years.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean? And
It's a lifestyle change.
it's crazy because I used to stay in my cell, right? And I used to look through the little windows. And I said, God, man, I'd do anything to have a job out there on that highway. That was the first. Well, that was a dream I had.
Right.
And I used to see trucks driving past. I said, I would love to be having my CDL license driving tractor trailer.
Yeah.
But everything, I had to learn how to set goals. You know what I mean? Stick to
Process.
goals.
It's a process.
I wasn't used to setting goals.
Right.
You know what I mean? Then
Right.
once I set a goal and I accomplished it, was ready to party.
Yeah.
See, now when I came home, my dad, man, I didn't know he was watching for like the first year. He finally said to me, he said, son, I trust you now. He said, I've been watching you.
Yeah.
And everything you say you're gonna do, you came home and did it.
Yeah.
It lifted my spirit up.
Yeah.
Because you know, as a man, I don't know about y'all, but as a man, I always wanted my dad to be proud of me. But how could he be proud of me when I was making him
In the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I wanted him to accept my bull.
Right. But
You know what I'm saying? And I would think he was a chump, you know what I'm saying? Because he wouldn't co-sign my bull crap. You know what I'm saying? Glenn?
Right.
But the whole time, he was the man.
Yeah. And you know, and you talking about God, right? Because everything in my life is God guided.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just ain't nothing out of order. All the time, me and Bruce, we never hung together. We done ran into each other in spots, but we never like really was a person that hung with each other every day. But since he been home, we stay in contact.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, we stay in contact, and then we done hung out a couple times.
But see, that was one of the things I asked God to put some real men in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. The goals that I set while I was in, I came home and I knocked the first 5, knocked them out. Then I didn't know what to do. Because like myself, I like to celebrate when I do something nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel good.
Of course. Right.
You just didn't know.
But I had to call my dad, man, what I supposed to do now? He said, man, set some more goals.
Yeah, it is.
Keep going.
That's right.
That's the bag of tools I was talking
Keep going.
about.
That's it.
That's the bag of tools I
Yeah,
was talking
keep
about.
going.
I tell you a tool that's very vital. A tool that I look forward to on a regular basis, y'all. Like I'm off tomorrow, right? I look forward to doing nothing.
Man.
I love doing nothing.
See, I understand.
Yeah.
I'm comfortable
It's
in my
priceless.
own skin today.
It's priceless.
Yeah, I'm comfortable in my own skin.
It
I
is.
love doing nothing.
That's you hit a point right there with me. So, just to what you said, you comfortable in your own skin. I'm comfortable, man, with sitting in my house for 2 weeks
Yeah.
with nobody to bother me at all. You know
Yeah.
why? I sit in that cell for. I sit in that cell for.
Come on now.
I sit in that cell for 14 years.
See,
I sit in that cell for decades.
y'all
You see what I'm saying?
y'all got
I
it
don't
right
need.
here. Come
I
on.
don't need a whole lot. I don't need a whole lot of space to be comfortable with. You know what I'm
Be
saying?
content.
I'm not institutionalized. None of that. I just learn how to conform to what I got.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. I learn how to conform to what I got.
But you hear that therapeutic stuff that Glenn talked about. I went through the same thing, Glenn. When I got sober,
Right.
I went through Second Genesis, right there on King Street. Yeah, I didn't want to go. Right there in Alexandria. And when I come out there, walk up the street every morning, they had to walk up the street and people looking at me. And that's only in my mind. Because they were looking at me when I was cutting up. That ain't bothering me.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But look, but the thing about it is though, that I was like water. And I still am. Because water conforms to whatever is in.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I like to think of us. We use the word clay.
Yeah.
Because clay conforms.
Yeah.
Shape that clay into anything you want.
And
that's the way we
and the reason I use that analogy about water, right? Because water don't complain.
Don't say nothing.
It don't say nothing. You ain't hear water say it.
Why you put me in
why you put me in this job?
why you use the other job?
Yeah.
that clear one.
Yeah. I ain't want to be in a green job.
Yeah, I ain't want to be in a green job.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, man, and these are nuggets, man. That if you listen to this, man, this is an intimate interview. You know, we dropping jewels, man. We talked before the cameras came on, but this interview, man, it's a classic already. I can tell you.
Let me say this: that Malcolm said in one of his books that history is best qualified to reward the researcher. So, with that being said, this is a lot of history that we Jews that we dropping right now, and it's for people that's listening that probably haven't been here, so you don't have to really go here.
Yeah.
If you just listen to some of the things that's coming around to you, and you don't have to experience what we experience, just listen, just reach, listen to somebody when somebody telling you not to go here and do this and do that without having to experience it. See, I had to experience it. They kept telling me, man, don't do it. I was hard headed as hell. So I was hard as hell. They sent my little black butt on down the road.
Wait to get out there.
Yeah, they sent my butt right on down the road, and I had to sit down and wait till they told me to come out of there.
Sly said he started learning from other people's mistakes.
Yeah, you learn from other people's mistakes.
Yeah.
I can learn certain things from other people's mistakes, but I was a hands-on guy.
Ain't nothing like experience, bro.
That's all of us right here. That's one thing we got. We more alike than different right
Yeah,
here.
exactly.
Yeah.
The funny thing about we, like I say, as much as we have been through as a people, man, we were just a resilient people.
Oh, very resilient.
Very resilient in anything that we do. In anything that we do, man, we were very resilient, and that's what God, God has gave it. It's what He made us that way. Exactly.
I tell you, these guys right here, man, this family, like a lot of people don't know the intimacy that I have with some real people that's not blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't come up to me and tell me, oh, I'm your friend. I got friends.
Yeah,
Right.
I know what friends treat me like.
yeah.
So I don't got to go through all that stuff that a lot of people go through. Because I'm all right with me, and I'm grateful for the people God put in my life.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have to see each other every day. All of us ran into each other at different times.
Right.
We can talk about that. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I told you, I ran into you a couple weeks ago.
I ran to you before then.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But we just got to report.
Every time.
Yeah,
Every time.
We got love. That's all. We got love for each other like a brother. So.
I don't even know how me and Manu ran to each other. That's another thing. That's when you know.
Called me. You told me when I first came home.
Yeah. What happened? Somebody told me to call you. I think somebody told me to call Tracy. Yeah.
Tracy. Yeah, Tracy.
Yeah, he told me to tell him to call. Yeah. See how God used it, man. Anything. Yeah, Tracy told me.
Men still shopping still, bro.
Yeah,
So no question.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And we've been going there since.
We've been rolling ever since. Now, how we mean you run back into it? Now, look, I ain't seen him since I was
Little dog, since you was a kid.
Since I was a kid, under 10.
That's crazy. I didn't see Boo since he was a kid.
That's crazy.
I ran into him about, I want to say 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We was at Tacoma Station, that's my little spot. We used to go,
Yeah.
see the bands and everything. Cranking, his band was playing one night, and I was like, what?
We instantly knew each other.
Right.
And I ain't seen him since
After all those
he was
years.
10
That's
years,
crazy.
man. 10 years old, bro.
Yeah, because y'all moved from around there.
No, we
Right?
stayed.
But,
We stayed around.
yeah.
We stayed.
That's
I grew up. That's where I grew up at, man.
That's
We
Eastgate.
grew up over there.
Well, we had to
I
see
lived
each other when we was teenagers. I used to be around there all the time.
Yeah.
But we ain't seen each
But
other.
after that,
since
I
then.
just, because you wasn't everybody going their own way. So
Yeah.
whatever.
But we ain't seen each other at least since we was around teenagers.
Yeah, but it was like I instantly I knew who you was. Some people you like, I try to never forget a face, but some people just don't look the same. You know what I mean?
You always call me, which I appreciate, man. He always call anything that's positive. He always invite
He's always
me.
been that type.
He always invite me. You know what I'm
He
saying?
always been that.
Or want me to come show up, right?
Yeah.
Church, whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Man,
So,
speaking of church,
we all need guys like that in our life.
man, speaking of church, man, we was raised in church, bro. I
Yeah.
raised in church, bro. We went to church like 3-4 times a week, bro,
Right.
since we was kids. So we knew better.
Yeah.
I had a daddy that was going in and out, but I knew I had a daddy. So a lot of
Yeah.
people in the neighborhood didn't know their daddy.
Right.
So I was blessed. I had older brothers. I learned from older brothers. They taught us how to fight.
How many brothers you got?
I got 4 brothers
Me too.
and 2 sisters.
Same way.
So
Seven of
we
y'all.
was fighting already. We was fighting.
7 of y'all.
Yes, sir.
7 of us.
Yes,
Same-
sir.
and in
Look at
the
that.
same order.
So we
Same
fighting-
order.
Same order.
Yes, sir.
5 boys, 2
Yes,
girls.
sir.
What?
So we was fighting before we even came out the house, man. You know what I'm saying?
That's
Daddy
where it
taught me.
started at.
Yes, sir. Daddy taught me the 1-2 at 2 years old. The 1-2, you better know how to throw it. He did, man. He made me practice. He's a fighter too,
Go ahead.
So hey, that's how we did. We come up fighting.
You couldn't come outside back then. And couldn't fight.
We couldn't even come. Oh, look, They would. I remember we was living over there, like you said, over by the Big Chair was on V Street, 11 V Street.
Okay.
We had a little house where at the time, is daddy. Like I said, my daddy had a good job. He had a good job. He just was going back and forth. Right. Did a lab technician, man. He come out and get another job just like that. I'm like, man, like he ain't miss a beat.
Yeah, some people.
All right, so we had a house on V Street, and my older brothers would get the other little boys in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But get the little boys in the neighborhood. So I'm like 6, 7 years old. My brother's like, you better fight. You better fight him. I'm gonna whoop you. I'm gonna whip you when you get in the house.
Yeah.
So I had to beat the dude. I didn't even know the dude.
Where you fall in the brothers? Your youngest, oldest?
I'm next to the youngest.
You
the youngest.
I'm the youngest.
Oh,
Yeah,
there
I'm
you
the
go.
youngest.
There you go.
I got two. Only one of my brothers is gone, which is the second to the oldest.
I'm sorry.
And there's 2 sisters still here, and my other 4 brothers still.
Yeah.
My other 3 brothers still.
Well, I had another sister, but she passed. I didn't know I had her.
Right.
Yeah, but she passed. But yeah, I got an older sister and a younger sister.
Yeah.
Youngest.
Now, I never met all those. It's like
never met
Glenn,
my
now
brothers?
I'm going to give you some of this parallel. I know a couple. I know Glenn brother. I know one of Glenn brothers, and I know your cousin.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The girl.
Yeah.
She passed. Right.
Yeah.
I knew y'all. Right.
Yeah.
But if I seen your other siblings,
You wouldn't know.
I probably wouldn't know. Now watch this. I only knew him and his younger brother. All them people was over in that house. I didn't know they was over there.
Right.
I didn't know they was over there.
Right.
We used to go over your house.
That's right.
I ain't pay no attention. I ain't see nobody but you a
You
kid.
locked in. You was locked in. Who you locked in on?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody else didn't matter.
Right.
Yeah, you and your man was y'all had to do what y'all do.
But we
That's all
don't.
that
But
matters.
see, they live right across from Eastgate Projects. My aunt them live in Eastgate, and they live like at the pop. I mean, right out the back door. It's a long apartment.
Right.
And they
Next
live.
block.
Yeah,
Next block.
the next block.
Hey, that was something that we learned at a young age, man. Mind your business.
You learned that in quick, bro.
Yeah.
Man, look, snitches, wear stitches. That's real. Man, look. It say tattletale. My mama would whoop my little brother because he used to tell on me.
Tell
You know what I mean? Or tell my other brothers, whatever.
See,
And
like
he get whipped for that.
We couldn't tell on each other.
We
So-
didn't know.
so-
We
so
saw.
it was-
We
it was-
learned that quick, bro. We learned that
got
early.
our butt.
So we
Learned that early.
we have some things that's embedded in us. There's some good qualities.
No question.
But what happened is we didn't know how, like you were saying earlier though, I ain't know how to sort them out.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like how I perceived things was twisted. You know, I would listen to, I've been blessed to work in the field of recovery for the last 18 and a half years.
Right.
And I do a group every day. I'm blessed to do it. I'm talking about being grateful.
Right.
And doing the same concept, come up with a topic, right?
Right.
So we was talking about keeping our spirit alive, and I went on and got a NA speaker, dude named Uzman from New Jersey. I'm giving him a plug because he been kind of like one of my speakers at work.
Right.
Without knowing, it's on YouTube.
Right.
But he was talking about how he perceived things when he was a kid. When he looked at the cartoons, he said he seen it different. He said Goldilocks, she broke into the bear's house.
That's right. That's right. She did.
Yeah,
She did.
that's how he looked at it. He said, and then she mixed it up, pours right until she mixed a little speedball, pours up and nodded out and got busted. So and messed the furniture up. So look, then he said, it's just very vital. And then he said how he perceived when he was talking about the what's that dude named the speed
Speak out loud.
the Roadrunner.
Roadrunner.
Boy, you shot, boy. Yeah, he talking about the coyote. He said he was on another level of insanity. He talking about keep doing the same thing.
Put coyote.
Yeah,
And
and
he almost got him though.
He almost got him.
He almost got him.
you know, the coyote kept prescribing to his own thinking.
Yeah.
That's why they call it act me. He was acting on his own thinking. And then he talked about Popeye. He said, man, I can relate to Popeye, just like we said here relating. He said, I can relate to Popeye. He said, because he had them big attic arms, it looked like he was missing. He couldn't get a good hit.
Say what, Mr. Good. Yeah.
He said, but Popeye would get whooped early, and they changed people who whooped them. So it wasn't nothing special about him. He said, but when Popeye would go into his stash and pull out a tin can
There it is.
that had green leafy substance in it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Said, and then he would smoke it in his pipe. And said, and then all of a sudden he gets some self-acceptance
Yeah.
on a deeper level.
Yes.
Right.
And then he turned into Valentino and look over at skinny Oliver and say, well, blow me down. And so he used all these illustrations,
Right,
though,
right,
man.
right,
Even though they had some
Yeah.
humor to them,
Wow, yes.
it's just about the way you think. If you change the way you do things,
Yeah.
it eventually change. Because you alluded to it. If I practice a certain thing, then it become a part of who I am.
So you said Goldilocks did break into Bear's house.
Broken them people's out.
Broken their house, man.
And Mr. Furniture up.
Stole their porch.
So, Boo, I would like to ask Glenn a question.
Okay.
Hey, so Glenn, when you came, like you did all the time, right? When you came home, did you have somebody that you that you had in your corner that when you was going through things, because things changed
Mhm.
over the 14 years.
Yeah.
When you come back home, I used to think that lifestyle was gonna last forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's probably why I stayed out there so long.
Right.
I wait for
Right.
my dream come true.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But when you came home, did you have like I call it wise counsel?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So when things got like uncomfortable,
Mhm.
when things wasn't moving as fast as you would like for them to move, did you have somebody you go to, man, to calm that spirit, to calm that that noise down in your head?
That's who I relied back on when I told you when I got in trouble, even mentally or something physical or whatever, I just relied on my prayer.
Right.
Because I learned in there that's what worked for me.
You were centered.
That worked for me.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So I brought that I used the same energy when I had a situation going. If it wasn't moving fast enough, I just prayed about it. I prayed and I just kept on, pitching at it. Like you said, kept going at it because faith without works is dead.
That's right.
So you can't sit
That's
around
right.
and pray thinking you're gonna get some food on your
Right.
table. And that's gonna fall the sky. We don't believe in that.
Right. Okay.
So you got to get up and go get it. You pray for it, and then what you do is go out and use everything in your
That's
power to
right.
get it. And what
That's
God
right.
gonna do is
Yes,
He's
sir.
gonna open up doors, or
Yes,
He's gonna
sir.
put people in your place
Yes,
to help
sir.
you out.
Yes,
That's
sir.
what I believe, and
Yes,
that's
sir.
what happened with me. So
Yes, sir.
yes, I did. I had a higher power that I used to call on also, and then I had some older guys just like myself.
That's what I'm talking
Some
about.
older guys like myself that I called up.
Yeah, God and guidance, man. God and guidance.
PG. One of my, you know PG. I don't know if you know PG. Yeah,
That was my selling moves in
That's
PCL.
right. That's my man. I call PG up, man. I said, PG, man, we talk about because he always gave me them positive energy.
Yeah, that's what
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I need.
That's what you
Positive
need.
energy.
That's
Yeah.
what you need.
I need somebody to
It's
get out.
freeze the camera.
I don't need no-
You got him.
You got him again?
You got him. Hey, look, you know this is on camera, right?
Yeah.
Freeze right there. Oh, he's
Right there.
trying to hide. You might as well let it
Hey,
go.
listen. So I asked that because at one point in time in my life, right, I wasn't the type of person who asked nobody for no help, especially
Yeah.
informational.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't want people to know that I didn't know.
Right.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
That's pride.
Come on,
That
man.
was
Right.
my pride.
Pride.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't want people to know
Yeah.
that I didn't know how to live. You know what I'm saying? Or human life.
You know what my first job was? He talking about what it's called in the field that I work in and in environments that I frequent. It's called therapeutic job.
Mm-hmm.
What you had, right? My first job was watching the kids jump in the moon balance for 4 hours a day. That was my first $50. No, we go out there, take the moon balance out there to events, and we blow it up and let the kids jump in, and then we got to watch them,
Right.
make sure nobody hurt themselves.
Right.
Then we got to take all the air out of it,
Right.
roll it back up,
Put it back on the
Put
truck.
it back on the truck.
Yep.
and that was the job.
Wow.
And I did that, man. I did that for a whole summer.
You did what you had to do,
Oh,
though.
Yeah. And then my next job was my cousin was working out there on Route 1 in Alexander. She was a manager at Office Depot. She was assistant manager. She younger than me, but she got me a job
Wow.
as a cash. No, not Alice. Alice worked for the government. No, this is my cousin Jamaica. She on Ledbetter side, but
Okay.
she but I don't know too. But I'm just saying. But the point I'm making is that she got me a job. I had to humble myself. I was a cashier. I was a cashier, and dude, like you were saying, dude younger than me. Talking about, hey, OT, can you go and get them pins from aisle 6? Make sure you get them all up.
Wow.
You know, I had to bite my tongue.
The humble yourself.
man.
And we laugh because we kind of know each other. So like people that don't just watching this, they know, man, that pride. You know, anyway, you just talking.
I wouldn't
That's
think
like
no.
that.
See,
Yeah.
now I use my dad when I was coming up. Me and my dad had a strange, even though he was in the house with me, we had a strange relationship
Yeah.
because I was totally opposite what he wanted from me.
Right.
You know, he came to me a couple months ago, man. I know he wouldn't mind me saying this. He said, Bruce, man, you know, for all those years, man, I blame myself.
Yeah.
Because you wasn't growing to be the man that I wanted you to be. He said, but then I had to realize that you had your own path to go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You had your own life to live. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No matter what I wanted from you,
Right.
you had your own life to live.
Right.
So y'all know this camera right here. So we see something. Hey, let me y'all know this how we are. We start talking, man. We forget we was on camera.
Right. Right.
but we it's just all right because this is genuine men. And this another thing, you know, we talk about, man, you are the company you keep. You know, and man, you know, when my mind was not healthy, I was the worst company.
Of course. It's coming to your own self.
Yeah.
It
It wasn't nobody outside of me. I remember my homie me and Kirk Crawford all you don't mind me saying it because this is old stuff. We was kids, man. Basically I snatched the no, the it's petty than that. It's petty than that.
That was a crime.
That was serious.
It wasn't nothing serious. You were running that shit. That was the crime.
That was it back in the day.
We both 13 and Halloween.
Took them kids candy.
And I snatched this dude candy.
Oh man.
So look. So they I don't know how they found us. We live by Simpson Field around the cut. How they come around there? But they came straight to the house. Because I probably fit the profile.
Yeah, man.
Everybody said, if anybody snatched, it's gotta be him. So look, so anyway. No, we ate the candy. We split up 5 way, about 5 of us, man. You know. So look, so we go to court. And you know,
had to go to court.
Yeah, that was a crime. Robbery.
Yeah.
Look, and so Jim mom, you know, him and Jim got the same mom, right? Shout out to Jim out there in California. So Jim mom come to court, she said, Kurt would not do that. It had to be them boys. So you know my mom, Shirley, right? Shirley said, it ain't no boys. My son is probably the one that came up with the idea.
That's true.
She said, he ain't no follower. He probably the one that urged the rest of them. Yeah, and man, and that's the thing that I had to learn how to follow. My man, he's not here tonight. My man Nate Jenkins, he usually hosts with me, right? Nate used to say this, and it's deep. He said, man, ain't nothing wrong with being a copycat. It's just what catch you copy.
What cats did you copy?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Sense. So I had to learn how to follow.
Need to be copied.
To be a good leader, man, I had to learn how to follow.
Oh, that's no doubt.
You had Sensei. Talk about it when you coming up, man. Right, yeah, old karate man. He bruised on the inside. He karate man. He don't show his weakness.
You know, you almost have to be a good leader in order to go your own way, make your own path, create your own avenue. Yeah. You have to be a leader because if you don't, what you're gonna do is you're gonna follow somebody all the time. I ain't got no problem taking a little bit from you, taking a little bit from you, take a little bit of you, but I'm gonna form what I did in my own way.
Right.
I'm not gonna do everything that you tell me, everything
Right.
that you tell me,
Yeah.
everything my mother tell me. I'm not gonna do everything.
Right.
That's
I'm gonna
right.
make. I gotta
That's right.
kind of
That's right.
feel my
That's
way
right.
through that
Yeah.
and take that energy, man, and
Yeah,
just
man.
and move with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
In my own way, so to
That's
speak.
right, brother. That's
Yeah,
right.
you know, but I like to give flowers to people, man. That's been, very what you call instrumental, in my life, man. And you guys had, without knowing, because we don't know who watch us,
Right. Absolutely.
right?
That's true.
We don't know who watches,
That's true.
man.
That's what I was just saying about the jet.
Like we say here, we done put on camera some intimate stuff,
Yeah.
but it's all right because the goal is not for us to save our face; it's for help others save their,
So they're live.
I was-
Yeah.
Out here.
I was just thinking that, boo, man, because after all the things that experience that we have,
Yeah.
Today, man, my main objective right now, man, today is to pass all the things that I learned to the younger generation.
You
man.
got to pass
You know
it
what I
down,
mean?
bro. You
Because
got
it's
to.
important, man.
You
Because
got to.
I struggle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I struggle, and I didn't have to. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? It was a choice I made. I could have been whatever I wanted to be,
That's true. That's true.
but I chose some things, man, and I didn't consider where it would take me 20, 30, 40 years.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
You said you said the key thing you just said. You said what you want to be, right?
Yeah.
See what happens for us, man, and we might not know how to really take a look at it. That's why we always need guidance,
Yeah.
right? Because you can see me better, I can see myself.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So the thing about I had to do what I have to do in the beginning, until my have to do's become my want to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning, I didn't want to do certain things.
That kept me.
But I had to.
That helped me.
Like you said, you had to do certain things when you got out.
Yeah.
That ain't always feel comfortable.
Yeah, that's when you know you're doing the right thing.
Doing right ain't never comfortable.
Right.
No.
No, especially when you used to know wrong.
Yeah,
Right,
doing right ain't never
Yeah.
comfortable.
So
But the devil makes things first seeming, so I say, and makes wrong seem right.
Right.
In this time right
That's
now that we
right.
living in right now,
Right.
because everything that's happening right now, a lot of people think it's okay to do wrong. Right? Oh, wrong is good right
it's
now.
the new.
That's right.
It's that's the way of life.
Yeah.
Do wrong is good.
But it's bad
But
and
person
bad.
is doing right, he got to be a bam or square dude.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
But you know, we call this show Man in the Mirror, right?
Yeah.
Because usually somebody judge you with their own lens.
Exactly.
Because
They already
that's the
have
way they
their-
feel
Right.
about
Right.
themselves.
Right.
Like if you always think somebody gonna get over, that's because you probably
Right.
want to
Right.
get over.
Get over, right.
Because usually people they look at things from their own personal
Perspective.
their own personal behaviors
Right.
or thought process
Right.
from theirs.
Right.
Because that's how they view themselves.
Right.
You ever heard this old saying about the man who always accusing his wife of doing something wrong because he doing something wrong?
Yeah.
Well,
She ain't
that's
doing
what-
nothing wrong, but he
that's what
accusing her
a
because
cheater-
that's why he
that's a
feel.
A cheater feel.
That's
how
your
cheater-
conscience.
cheater
That's
with
your
the-
conscience.
yeah.
It's
See
your
what I'm saying?
conscience.
I had this little girl. She
And
was
we
talking
all
about
got it.
cheating on me.
Yeah.
I had a little girl. She talked about cheating all the time, and I found out right she was saying that.
Yeah, she cheating.
She was cheating.
Thank you.
Yeah.
She was cheating.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
You,
saying?
That's
you
crazy,
told me
though.
about that.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
And that's
I'm in the same boat. Don't worry about
that's a
All
good
I'm saying,
thing.
that's a lesson you got to learn.
That's
You
a
gotta learn
good.
that
That's a
one.
good thing when
You gotta learn
when
that
you
one.
can
You have to
become
learn that
vulnerable. If y'all hear this, what these men are doing right now, they're becoming vulnerable to the world. It's hard for a lot of men, and that's why they don't become happy. Because I got to put light on this thing. Whatever it is, man, you got to put light on it because if it stay in the dark, that's what evil grow. Evil grow in the dark.
It would kill me.
But it dies in the light of exposure.
Yeah.
I got to expose things that I go through, and then to have somebody where you can bounce things off,
Right.
man, it's priceless.
Right.
Signs and symbols are for men of understanding.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Right.
of the conscious mind.
Yeah, conscious mind.
Yeah, they used to say that back in the
There
day,
you go.
but it was deep though. It's a signs and symbol
real.
for the
It's
conscious
real.
mind.
Yeah, it's definitely real, man.
Yeah, man.
Everybody can't pick up on signs and symbols because they're not focused. They're not there. You see what I'm saying? They're not there yet.
Yeah,
And it's just like a person that has all the book sense in the world but don't have an ounce of street common sense.
Okay.
Right.
Common
Fact.
sense,
That's a
street
fact.
common sense go a long
Fact.
way.
That's
I
fact.
got-
If I had to have the two, give me the street common sense. You can
Yeah.
keep the book.
I got
I can learn that.
I got a
lot as I
coworker,
go.
and,
Right.
and see, like, it don't matter, you know, who the information comes from.
Right.
I got a coworker, man, and we both are passionate about the job, but sometimes people might not see your worth. But that don't mean I can't learn nothing from that person.
Absolutely.
So he always say this, John. He say that his challenges in life was his orientation for his calling.
Right.
I said, Dad, I got to take that one. Yeah, everything we've been through was an orientation for our calling.
My dad just told me that this morning.
See,
He said you had to go through what you went through to get to where you
Good
had
to
to
go.
go.
Oh, no
yeah,
question.
this on, you
No
know,
question, bro. No
yeah.
question.
You ever see Big Fish, the movie Big Fish?
Yeah.
The dude was trying to get to another town, right? And he had to go through this real haunted forest.
Yeah.
It was really, really haunted. And it has a whole lot of, you know, symbolic stuff in there. And he had thorns and all that stuff. He had to go through thorn bush, get scratched up, just to get to a town that was pleasant.
Where he wanted to go. He was willing to go through all that just to get what he wanted.
Right.
Was on the other side.
Yeah.
That's life, man.
So
That's life.
yeah.
That's life.
So look,
You
let's
know
just Slide, let me get you in here. You're over here shoplifting. So well, you know, let's talk about, man, you know, how we met. You know, let the people know, because you know,
You talking about in the beginning? Or
yeah, beginning.
Oh, like I said, we were like I said, I was going with BB, your cousin,
Yeah.
and like we was young, we was kids, man, 11, 12.
That's your first boyfriend, girlfriend.
That was my first. My first squeeze, bro.
Yeah.
How old you 11?
I was 11. You had to be. I don't know. Though.
I was a little boy.
How old you now, son?
I'll be 62 in July, bro.
Yep, he's calling right. Yeah.
In July?
Yeah. Yeah, I had to be about 8. Yep.
Yeah, me. BB was older than me though. She was. I had an older girl. I was 11. She was 13.
That's how it usually happens.
Sir.
You know?
Yes,
sir.
Claire.
That's how it usually
Claire.
Yeah. I had to get me an older girl.
That's how it usually happens. You know what I mean? The first one usually going older.
Man,
Yeah.
Teach you something.
Yeah, teach you something.
man, that girl broke my heart.
She gonna watch this too.
Man, look.
Baby, Slide said, you
I
did
ran
it
to my
wrong.
mom, went to my mama, and I was crying. She was just laughing. She said, "Poor baby, you done got your heart broken." She laughing. I'm like, "Mom, this is not funny." She was hurt, bro. I was hurt for a
He listened to
long
Mel and
time,
Lindsay at night.
man.
Right.
That girl broke my heart, man. My mom was just laughing. She was like, "Poor baby." I said, "Okay, but I was good though. You learn, you know. Like I said, you learn." But you know, my thing was, and I've always been like this. I never tried to fit in, though. I never tried to fit in.
Yep.
That was my
You
own
know,
because it was like, you know, I had older brothers, so I was already off the top rebellious.
Mhm.
I wasn't no bad dude. You know what I'm saying? But I was rebellious. When I felt something was wrong, I stuck by it. If I felt something wasn't right, I had to say my part. Because they were gonna eat me up, man.
Right.
I got to say, I'd be at work, man. They'd be like, "I can't believe he said that." Man, I said, "Look, man, this is not right, bro."
They say the truth sets
Man,
you
come
free.
on, man. People don't want to hear the truth, bro.
Sets you
People
free.
don't want to hear that truth.
That's all I can say.
People don't want to hear the truth. But no, I was always like that, though, bro. I've always been that way.
Now,
I ain't trying to fit in.
see that?
I ain't dressed like nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
My mama told me all the time.
You always had these.
Yes,
eh?
sir. Yes, sir. My mama even said, she said, and if they wear Timbs, if they wearing the butter Timbs, get the way the black Timbs. Don't be like nobody. Like, you be yourself. Don't try to. You be a statistic.
Yeah, I would be.
You be a statistic. You dressed and looking like. Look, I could look back in the day. I could tell where everybody was from the go. I could tell where they was from. Does everybody dress the same way? Northeast dressed a way, a certain way. Southeast dressed a different way. West, uptown dressed a different way. You know, Southwest, they was in and out. I don't see too many Southwest. Sometimes they would be up. Yeah.
Back then.
Let me take that back. Cable would be able to go.
That go for the girls too, though.
Oh, no question, bro. You can look. All you got to do is let them talk. Yo, I know where she from. She from around the way. Yeah, she from around the way.
I met one of my clients. You know, I can't never disclose who they are. But one of my clients, he got the rapping. He just got there last night, right?
Right.
He got the
I
rap.
see that one.
I said, man, I know you. You from around the way. I pinpointed right where he was
Like I
from.
said, it's a fact, man.
It's
a fact.
it's some kind of like mannerisms.
It's a certain lingo. It's just a neighborhood thing. Oh, you from around that's where you from.
See, like if that's cause you talking about having that insight to pay attention to detail.
Man, you got to, man.
You know, everybody, like Glenn said, everybody don't have it. It's a gift.
Yeah, it's a gift.
It's a gift, man.
Then it take some people longer to get it than others.
The others.
You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
everybody got their own growth
Yeah.
spirit.
That's right.
Some people wither, some people grow.
I got 2 younger brothers under me, man. Never experienced the things I experienced.
Yeah, there you
Right.
go.
You hear me?
Whole different
All,
route.
all about choices.
Yeah,
Right.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Right.
You ain't
My
never
little
experienced a
brother
lifestyle.
never got
Yeah.
in trouble. My little brother never got in
Well,
trouble.
listen, I'm the oldest of 2 families. Ain't none of them been to jail.
Yeah.
just me. And you know, they did, you know my brothers and sisters
Yeah.
on the left hand side, right?
Yeah.
And then I got my mom got 2 other kids. They like 8 and 10 years younger than me. And they all one of them work for Metro. My sister been there like 20-something years, almost 30 years. Getting ready to retire.
Something wrong with me.
Yeah, you know, right?
I'm trying to remember which one it is. I
Yeah,
haven't
Tabitha.
seen it. Tabitha. Oh yeah.
Tabitha.
Who?
Tabitha.
Tabitha.
Yeah, she
Tabitha.
work over
Yeah,
Virginia,
yeah.
Joe. Yeah. So anyway,
Yes, you are.
they all told me the same thing. They said, we watch you, and we ain't want no parts of that. They ain't want
So people say, man, a lot of times people say, well, you ain't setting a good example.
but you
Sometimes you are setting a good example.
You set an
See,
example.
my mom used to say that to me. You ain't setting a good example. So well, they ain't doing what I'm doing, so that is a good example.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
exactly.
That's a fact.
Or the best example they can get.
Yeah, they ain't want they don't
My
want no
dad,
parts
my
of
dad
that.
was my best. I can say he kept going in and out.
Your
His dad was, man, he died.
Your dad was getting in trouble.
Man, my dad, I can say my dad was, like I say, he was like that. I mean, ever since we was kids, man.
I didn't know that.
My dad been getting locked up since he was 14.
Man,
So that's
that's a cycle we want to break.
what's
to
the word, man? What's the word?
institutionalized.
Institutionalized.
My first
Yeah,
time
yeah,
I got
yeah,
locked
yeah.
in my dad,
Institutionalized.
the first time I got arrested was at in PG County. We went out to Crystal Skates, see Chuck.
Oh yeah.
We bumped into a couple girls. And there's only 2 of them, there's 3 of us.
Yeah,
So we sitting there, man, we got a pocket full of money, man. Everybody got at least $1,500 in their pocket.
Yeah.
We kids though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We young.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got money in our pocket.
Oh, no question.
So one get up from the table and go to the bathroom. I'm watching him because I'm facing that way. He slip out the door. I said, oh, he trying to put the bill on me. Yeah, they done about $30.
yeah.
You hear me? They done
You
about
already know.
$30.
You already know.
So I get up. Dummy, I get up too. Go to the
You
bathroom. I leave the
gonna
girl.
slip out the door
I
too.
slip out the door too. I leave the girl sitting right there.
Wow.
Shorty come out the door with the 2 girls. We in the car. So we see we think he gonna pay the bill. He ain't paid nothing.
Nobody paid.
Nobody paid. He
Wow.
paid his bill, but he ain't pay our bill.
Right.
I got about 40 bags. Back then, PCP was $15 a shot.
Yeah.
I got like 40 bags on me. I didn't forgot him. Took off running, right? The other dude, I ain't gonna call his name. He run. They catch him. Whoop him. I turn around. I said, okay, I'm gonna pay for. I pull my money. He said, no, it's too late.
you got to suffer
You got some
consequences.
consequences.
Yeah.
Take me to jail, man. But Slim told the police, said, man, he in high school. He playing basketball, man. He don't deserve this type of, The police took the drugs and threw it in the trash can. So I'm thinking I'm going home. My father wouldn't even come get me. Man, that was the most hurtful thing in the world, man.
Yeah.
He said, nah, you want to be
That's a
wrong?
good lesson.
He said,
Yes,
you want me
yes.
to go, but it wasn't a
That's
lesson.
since you older.
It wasn't a lesson because
Well,
I
he thought
kept
it
going
was.
back.
But he thought.
But that's what a
But that-
so,
you
yeah,
don't
they
get
gonna
it.
learn that's a lesson.
That's a
Whether
lesson.
you learn it or not is
Yeah,
on you.
yeah,
but it's
that's
on
right,
you.
that's right, that's
right.
I'm going. This time he gonna learn. I'm how I feel about this time.
Right.
Now, whatever you do after that is,
See, because this thing about it is, y'all know my story. I had 2 girls, man. My oldest child passed. She was 23.
Sorry.
And you look back as a parent and you say, man, well, I could have did this, I could have did this better, or I should have did that, or this. But really, it's no book.
right way. It's no really no right
you don't
way.
get no instruction. You don't get no.
It's no wrong
You don't get
way.
no,
in
you
other
don't get no
words.
kid manual.
Yeah,
I know it's
and
no
then
wrong
and
way.
then, like you said, it was too late once they got
Too
you,
late.
right? So some things, man, that we look back and say, man, I should have did that back then, but it might have been too late.
Yeah.
Damage done.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Man, that's how. But that's part of overcoming. You talking about the valley experiences.
Yeah, man, no question.
That's what we talking about. But go ahead, Glenn.
I just want to say I overcame a whole lot of things, a lot of triumphs in my life. From drugs, going to jail, dealing with just bad habits.
Bad
And
habits.
and I overcame a whole lot of things. I still have some shakeups here and there, but that's natural. But I'm at a point in my life right now I can fix things a lot better than I used to.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I know where I'm at. I know what I'm worth, and I know where I'm trying to go. So it helps me along the way of making better choices.
Yeah, like the
You know what I'm
guy,
saying?
man, that I met when I was in Second Genesis, we still rock together now. And we still, help kind of like balance each other off. You know what I'm saying? But he was my guide early on because he knew how to do it.
Right.
I needed him early on because I didn't know how to do it.
And you made me think of something while we're on the subject is that I want to say this back when you was talking about something, and that is when you locked up, is one thing that a lot of brothers don't talk about. You meet more genuine people that
That's
you
a
don't
fact.
even know.
Yeah.
Never
That's a
seen them in
fact.
life.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
ran
fact.
into some real genuine
That's a
brothers
fact, bro.
while I was locked
That's
up.
a fact.
Bro. I mean, they held me down,
Right.
and I held them down.
Yeah.
And I never even knew them. They
Yeah.
from another part of this whole, another part of the country.
I was able to, when I started the band, three of the dudes, two of the dudes that played in my band for still in time, we was in penitentiary together.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Let me jump off what you said.
Yeah.
Now-
So
That's a fact. And but what hurt me was you caught them in when they was pure.
Right, exactly.
You catch them same dudes out there, you were like, this dude
Like,
was
no.
telling me how to do whatever.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Right.
So you know what I'm saying. So sometimes it's it
that's
goes,
wit you take the information.
you got to take it
and
where
don't look at the
it's
message.
at.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was that time for that moment. You know
So
what I'm saying?
Glenn said it early. He said, man, I got to put it into work. Right.
Yeah.
So like you give me some good information, man.
Right.
That don't mean I gotta look at whoever giving it to me.
No.
Yeah, he might not can do it for himself. But thank
don't-
No, but that's right. That's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
I'm saying at that time where you were at, then when you see the person when they're out, you be like, I can't.
But he still
that,
gave
that
me
was
a good
for you. That
piece.
was for you.
Yeah.
But
That
see,
was for
the
you.
thing about it is that God don't put who you want to put.
Come on, man.
God is not going
Right.
to bless you with who you think you want to be
Right.
blessed with.
Yeah.
It might be that guy that you think is weird as hell over there,
Right.
but he might say a few words to you.
Yes, sir.
No, he might need you. That weird guy might need
that,
you.
That weird guy could no. He
We
could,
might
he
he
could,
might help.
no. He could
He might
speak a
help you.
thing. He could speak a thing to you just out of just saying a few words
But-
to you, and it would trigger that
It's
that
not-
blessing
you
that you're looking
you
for.
got it.
Puts you on your way too.
Because here's the hit.
Like I say, men
Here's-
shopping,
here's
men
the-
still shopping.
We
Still.
all the
don't
time.
we can't tell God how to teach us,
No.
That's right.
right? Because he said everything worked for our good.
That's right.
So we can't tell him how to do it. Because like the most cruddy or disrespectful person in your life can be teaching you a valuable lesson.
Right.
And it ain't about hating them,
Right.
right?
Tell you something about yourself.
But it might, you gotta ask yourself why about them. Because man the mirror.
It's a scripture. It's a scripture. Faith is the substance of things
Hopeful.
hopeful, evidence of things unseen.
Yeah.
So like I say,
You don't know.
it's not. It's everything's not gonna be right in front of you.
Right.
You have to work your way through it to get your see where the faith comes in. At.
Yeah.
When you look at it and say, damn, you look back and say, damn, I went through all that, but look, I got what I wanted out of this. That was because of your faith. You kept on
We
working
know in
towards
part.
that.
We only know in part.
Yeah, you kept working. You got to work towards your goal.
Yeah.
That's why I say that nothing that pie in the sky that they taught us about. That's I don't believe in that. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, faith without works is dead. So if you want something in life, you got to pray about. My this is my thing. I pray about it and I go after it.
See, like just like
Right.
one thing, I can't expect people to be me. Like I might see a thing a certain way. That don't mean that
I
you
used to
gonna
be
see.
that way. I used to be that
Yeah,
way.
I can't expect people
I
to
used to
be
be that
me.
way. I
And
used to be that way.
like
I thought everybody felt the way I
my
felt.
faith,
You know what I mean?
like some people might say, okay, I believe that Christ, I believe that Christ was the Messiah. So some people might say, oh, well, you're a Christian. No, my understanding is he ain't never say that.
Right.
So I'm not going to label myself that. I'm a believer. Because that's what the action is, believing.
Right.
If I believe, then so I do.
Right.
So, everybody have different belief
Yes,
system.
sir. Yes, sir.
Everybody have different values or what they believe in, and that's up to them. You understand what I'm saying? And that's one of the most valuable lessons I'm learning is to allow people to be where they
Oh,
are.
no
Yeah.
question.
That's something I had to
Everybody
learn
on
too.
yeah.
I had to learn not to project myself,
Your
on other
expectations,
people,
yeah.
my expectations on other
Right.
people. But I also had to learn not to allow other people to project
That's
their
right.
fears on me.
That's
That's
right.
well. That's
Because people will put their fears on you if you allow them.
If you allow,
If you
yeah.
allow them.
You know, we all got the power of definition, right?
No question.
He gave Adam the power to
Create.
to name that, to what define everything.
Right.
He called the animals and he named them, right?
Right.
And that's what their name is to this day.
Right.
That's a fact.
So all of us got that power,
Yeah,
right?
He said we all.
But so
all
we can
have it.
define ourselves.
Right.
I don't. Now, if I don't do it, then I'm gonna allow somebody else to do it.
That's true. That's right. That's like following your dreams. If you don't follow your dreams, you're gonna follow somebody else's.
And another thing I had to learn, man, I had to learn how to stay away from people that didn't know how to change their perspective.
Yeah.
Look at it from a different way
Yeah.
instead of always looking at it
Yeah.
from
Some
their
people
point
ain't
of view.
gonna change, bro.
You know,
Some people
so
ain't
but
gonna
I used to sit back and I used to have these difficult conversations with people
Yeah.
that they ain't got no ability to even see it that way.
No.
You know what I mean? Because their mind ain't working that way.
They not
Now,
ready.
maybe one day or soon in the near future or the far away future, they might get to that point.
Yeah.
Because I was that way too, one-minded.
Right.
One
Some
track
people
mind.
not ready to hear what you got to say.
Yeah.
Now, one
You know
thing
what I'm
we
saying?
all can agree on is that the whole concept is love.
Yeah.
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
Let me interject something.
Go ahead.
My thing is that be careful how much you give yourself to people.
Yeah, man.
Because
yeah,
if you
That's
give
wisdom.
if you give too
Wisdom.
much to people, you're gonna expect that same
Same
thing
thing.
back.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So be careful. So
Yeah.
only give what you allow to
Right.
accept. You know,
What
accept.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What
So
you
I'm
don't
gonna give you a certain
Right.
amount, and I'm not gonna expect nothing from
There
you.
it is.
Check this out.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying?
That's right.
I'm not expecting you to do the
Right.
same thing for me.
For me,
See what I'm saying? Because
Right.
if I give too much of me, I'm gonna expect it back.
Right.
And then when you
Check
don't
it.
give it back, then I got a problem. See what I'm saying?
There's a
Right.
practice
Yeah.
that and all these Jews I learned from some people, man, and then I put them into practice in my life. I lower my expectations and raise my acceptance.
Yeah.
I can apply
That's scripture.
So lower
That's
my
in the scripture.
expectations
That's in the
and
scripture.
raise my acceptance.
Why would you do that?
I gotta
Why would you
accept.
do that?
I gotta accept. Man, that's the way what's calling me is, man.
And you can't
Now,
change.
now, for
Some
me,
things you can't change.
you would think I'm gonna
That's-
let them in my house?
No.
Nah.
No.
If I know that's the way they is, I'm not gonna let you be around me. You ain't gonna be in my circle. But that don't mean that I'm gonna loathe you or hate you, because I'm still gonna love you because you God's creature.
Case in point. So if you gotta be case in point to build on what I just said, a guy that I like and I like and I love, I know how I know his ways, right?
Right.
But he want $100, right? He don't give nobody back their money. But he asked me, gonna say he gonna give back to me. So I'm
You
knowing how he is.
know he
I
ain't
know
gonna
he don't give me $100 back. So knowing how he is, look, man, take this 50 and run. You don't owe me nothing.
Yeah.
We
I can
good.
afford to give
I can
you
afford to give you that, right? Because I ain't give you my 100 wrong because I can't afford
Then
it.
I'm gonna
Right.
feel
But
certain
take this
way.
50,
There's only
take this
certain
50 and go on by the
Because I
door.
don't
We
want to
cool.
give you mine.
There's
And
only
I ain't gotta
certain
say that, but I'm just saying I know he ain't gonna give back, but I can allow him not to give it back. That's what I mean.
Hey, it's funny, and this is a
Certain people
homeboy.
you do that for.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
know, I see his homeboy over Alexandria, right? And I love him. Man, I mean, I think you can have all the ones. Because I don't want to feel a certain way. That's what you're talking about, man.
Right.
I don't want to feel a certain way.
Right.
You know, and that's just being honest with yourself because I might not be there yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I might not be there, especially if I see, because one thing, like we said, we can see ourselves in others.
Yeah.
I know when you run a game because I
Of
done
course,
ran
you done
some.
been there.
I did.
Yeah, you done ran something.
Yeah.
Game recognized game.
Yeah.
What mama say, you can't outslick a slicker.
Yeah.
You cannot outslick a slicker.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
But man, this man, we got time, man. So let's get into this that we say we was gonna talk about before the show. Let's give a little summary of man how you grew up and man, you know, where you at right now. But just how you grew up, you know, what you do when you grew up. Like you said, you took karate, right?
Right.
Then you talk about you box, right? You played basketball. You played sports.
Basketball, baseball.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's talk about some of those. Because, see, let me tell you this. I just got the playbook from Lucky the other day. Lucky Charles Houston. It's, you know, he had a system with football. Now he coached basketball too.
Yeah,
And
football
it
was
was,
just-
football,
that was just 2
he had a system, man. I played for him for 2 years.
2 years. I played for
Yeah.
about 8 years.
Yeah, I played too.
all my old little
Yeah. And
Pop
I played for his
Rec league,
protege.
rec league.
I played for his protege.
Yeah.
I played for Richard and
Yeah,
Bell.
I played for them.
Right, I never played directly for Lucky, but I played for Lucky. Y'all understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
So I had Lucky on this show before, and what I'm saying, I'm tying that into, man, it's a lot of discipline and structure
Oh, no question.
when you're doing certain sports,
Right.
and these guys right here excelled in certain. I played against this guy a couple times, even at the rack. You know, like we don't play against each other.
So let me pick up with you.
Come on.
So when I was coming up, back when I was coming up, because I'm probably older than all y'all, but not much older than him, but I am. Older. But he could probably relate to this back in the day when you just all you had to do was show up for soccer, baseball, football, basketball. You had to bring no equipment in. You had to be on no ride. They gave you a ride. They had all the equipment. All you had to do was just show up.
Just show up.
Just show up because it was funded. These programs was funded when I was coming up. So I ran track. I played soccer. I
Okay.
played baseball. I played basketball. Of course, I played football. And then later on, boxing came into me.
What did you play when you played with Charles Houston, the great Charles Houston?
Charles Houston.
Yes.
I played with football.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I was defensive man, tackle, linebacker.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, all that. Yeah, I played all on.
Did you win championship?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. We won a couple of them. On a couple of them.
Hey, look,
Yes, sir.
we don't know nothing about losing.
I ain't know.
A couple
I
championships.
ain't never won championship. Man.
Because you played with.
Look,
You
I
always
played
lucky,
with
though.
Mount Vernon first.
Okay.
See,
Then I
he was
moved.
out at Rob.
Yeah.
So then I moved on the south side.
Yeah, he was
Okay.
at Rob.
But I had a beautiful experience down there on the south side, man, because they had a committee.
League,
down there.
yeah, league.
We
They had a
traveled.
community.
Yep, exactly.
traveled.
Because we're talking about the community.
We played not just in the community against Upper Exeter.
I know.
We would go to Philadelphia, Richmond,
Yeah.
all over Georgia,
Yeah.
Florida. You know, we went to other places to play, right?
Now, you was on the team. Did we beat y'all in the championship? Did you have?
Season? Yeah, they always beat them.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Did you?
That was at Rob. I told you that.
We had 2
For
years.
real, you know, y'all beat us before the game even started. Most of them were scared to play against you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Yeah. Like Mike Tyson get in the ring and the fight over. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, look, we played them the 2 years I played 100 pounds, 110 pounds for Charles Houston. We played Lee, their school, right?
Right.
Both years in the championship.
And beat us both.
It always,
Both years,
they had a tough
I played
team.
for
They
2
always had a
years.
tough team.
They had tough teams
Yeah.
during that time.
A tough
But
team.
I played 2 years and we only gave up 6 points, right? In 2 years. And when we gave up the 6 points, I think it was to them, right? We gave up the 6 points, we won 33-6, right? But we cried.
Cause we scored on y'all.
Yeah, I think back then.
So my brother and them was the only team from League, man, that actually beat Charles Houston on the regular.
Yeah.
They was
They got
younger.
younger, yeah.
They got younger. You know
My
what I
brother did too. My little brother played for Cork County.
That's
And
another
they
league.
started winning
we-
after we
mean?
was older.
We
you
either
know.
ran into Court Kelly or either leave for the championship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my first year, I played with a school called Patrick Henry.
They had tough teams.
Yeah, we had tough team that year. We lost 2 games.
What was the Asian dude that played up there?
Yeah,
Was
Jack. We had two. No, the Asian dude you talking about didn't play for us. He played for John Adams.
John Adams. That's
That was
what
ping
Ping
pong.
pong.
Ping
So
pong.
look, yeah, he played against the older guy.
We had to do Sanford or something like Sanford. White dude. That
Played
dude.
with John.
No, he played for
John Adams.
John Adams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ubby.
Yeah,
That's
he
their
was
coach.
like that.
Big-
We ran
big
into him
white
every
guy named
year.
Ubby.
But he was nice.
He had a nice squad.
He was nice.
But you know what? When they changed that format,
Yeah,
when they changed the format,
it messed it up.
it messed everything.
That's why I emphasize that when all you had to do was show up because they were funding these programs. What they did was they took the money, they closed these programs down, took the money back from these programs. So now you started hanging out on the
So let
corners.
me
That's a fact.
let me quarterback y'all why I bring up this topic within the topic, right? Because this is some of the things I pulled on when I got older, when I lost my way. and when I started getting taught how to live, right, I could pull on those disciplines. I could pull on
That's right.
that structure,
Right.
right?
Right.
Because we had structure. You know what I'm saying? But we didn't apply it to nothing but the football field, the basketball field, or something. But that same structure could be applied to my life.
Oh, no question.
But you said something key though. You didn't apply to nothing because you had nothing to apply it to. See, when they pull that string, what was it? What was left? That's my point.
Yeah.
What direction were you going? They left you out there dangling to go find your own direction, which you had no direction.
And we
Understand
you know,
that.
And it's been going down here.
But you know,
thank
but
you.
the thing
There you
about
go.
it is, look at us right now, right? We wouldn't be here right now if we didn't go through the hell to get to the point we at right now when we telling people how to get some heaven. You know what I'm saying? Because we went through hell.
Yeah. Some people got to go there.
But you know what I hang my hat on? I hang my hat on this point solely. You know, it's many people, man, who go on to glory will never been able to change their life, their ways.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
To be able to change your
Grace.
ways.
It's called
this
grace,
time,
man. Undeserved merit.
It's grace, man. You know
That's
what I
all
mean?
it is.
Yeah, it's grace. Man.
It's not nothing about boo. It's not nothing about no individual saying. It's about grace, man.
The only thing that we didn't experience coming up, man, in those mean streets was the killing,
Yeah, the death.
the death. We didn't experience that.
Everything else. Yeah.
Everything else, man. We
You know, they say it's three things that lead to jails, institutions, and death.
Well, I seen a lot of that.
If you've been to a shelter,
I seen
that's an institution.
I
If
seen
if you've been to, detox or whatever, it's institution.
So like my job now,
Jail is an institution.
I work with mental health people, right?
Yes.
School is an institution.
School.
And I was waiting for my relief one day, and a guy come in that knew me. He got me in the shelter work a couple years ago, but that was the only experience I had, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Man, who do you know?" I let me see. He said, "Man, how you get this job?" I said, "I applied." He said, "Man, who do you know, man?" He said, "Man, you know how many people trying to get this job you got?" He said, "Man, you need they be one of these 5-10 years worth of experience to have this position." But when I got there, man, sometimes you don't need the book experience. I had life experience. You know what I mean? I had
hands-on.
I had been in a place where I was severely depressed before.
Right.
Try to commit suicide, then contemplate it again. Here I am working with. When I first got to this house, man, I had four men and 4 women, and they were sleeping all day. They had no get up, all I did was try to encourage them and let them know that I care about them. You know what I mean? That's what some people need. You know what I mean? Just to let somebody know that you care about them. Their situation is not dire.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can get up from anything that you're going through, but you gotta have the desire to do so.
No question.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm a peer recovery coach, right? But I don't work in that capacity. I work on the floor with, with probably the lowest job on the totem pole, right? But I love it.
Yeah.
Because I get to work with me all day.
And Boo, man, I'm glad you said, because this, even though just 6-7 months ago, man, I was making $34-$35 an hour. You know what I mean? Driving tractor trailers. Because of my health, I couldn't do that no more. See, this is how God works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then I went back to doing telecommunications. I couldn't go up and down the line. So I'm sitting, I gotta find another job.
Right.
This job came to me and it's right in my purpose. I love this job, man. I love going to work because I like seeing the results of people, man.
You're calling.
Yeah, my calling.
Yeah. See, we sitting here. It's not by happenstance that you guys are the guests. Yeah. You understand the ones that made it. Because we had a couple more people who was supposed to come, and another host, and they're not here. So ain't nothing out of order.
And I go there thinking I'm going to help them.
Oh, come on,
in hindsight, they helping me.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
They help me every day, man, because I see myself in them. And I can be.
I learn something every day.
Every day, man. Every day.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, they be giving me so much jewels in that joint. I be like, man, you got a funny sense of humor.
I pray every morning when I'm going to work, riding the morning down the highway, because I ride the highway every morning. I pray for the people that's on drugs. Pray for the people that don't know they're on drugs, because some people don't know they're not even here. They on their second, their third floor, fourth floor gone. You know what I mean? It's some people with mental health problems out there. They don't even. It's cold as hell out there. They don't even know it
You don't even know.
because they don't. You know what I'm saying, they don't have the capacity to think like that. But I pray for people like that, man, because I always think back. I could have been one of them right there. Easy. I could have been out. I could have been sleeping on that bench right there.
Come on, easy,
easy.
Or I could have been in that shelter over there.
Yeah.
See, I'm not immune from that. I'm one step away from that. Anything can happen overnight, and I could be in that situation.
Yeah.
So in other words, I learned to give back. To people that I see out there on the street. I can't give to everybody because I don't want to be out there myself begging.
Right.
You can't give to the point where you're out there begging yourself. You gotta,
You gotta know the difference.
yeah, right. You gotta know the difference.
difference.
You gotta know the difference between giving and not. Everything is not to be given. So I just pick and choose in my spots. I want to help people out. You know what I'm saying? And buy people food. All
But
that
see,
stuff.
like
You at peace, bro.
but see, it go back to what you said about with my new dad, right? The best gift he gave was no help.
Yeah.
Come here, because now, even though you didn't get it right then,
Right.
It benefits you later on.
it got you later. It don't take all the time. It don't take right away.
They go for a lot of things because a lot of things you know how you grew up, right? And your parents tell you, said, man, if you got anything on your mind, man, come talk to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, now, see, I didn't have.
But you don't do it.
No, you don't do
I
it.
didn't have a
Because
dad
the first time you talk to them and they get that.
It's the first time you talk to them when they give you the good information. The good information don't sink in. Don't settle with
all
you.
right away.
Yeah, they don't, because I don't want to hear that. That's not what you want to hear, but that's the best thing you should. That's the best thing for you.
Right.
But you didn't want to hear that. See
Right.
what I'm saying? Because people don't have the truth with me, young. Because we big headed, we think we know everything.
We want them to tell us what we want to hear.
There you go.
It's called selective.
We want them to smooth, pass on the hand, say, you should have did
As
this
soon as
right.
that don't happen, I ain't coming to them no
So
more. What I'm saying?
we talk about me and Glenn.
Exactly.
We box
That's a
together.
fact.
Let me
That's
get
a
all this
fact.
in real quick. Me and Glenn box together, right? My uncle came out of penitentiary, Fred Ledbetter, right? Rest his soul. And he helped orchestrate getting that team together, right? After Rock was doing something at first, but he helped get the ABC brand where we had a team, where we compete. Him and Fred Smith, rest his soul. Them guys orchestrated to get us legally binded as a team, not just train and direct. You know what I'm saying? And
Let me not leave out. Let me not leave out, brother Dennis Turner.
Dennis Turner,
That brother right there is still
that
a
was my
lot
man.
of principles.
That was my man.
He instilled a lot of principles in me.
Dennis
Senior.
Dennis Turner was down
That's
Camp
the
30.
older guy.
Yeah, he was older.
Yeah,
that's the one
He
I
did
know.
time too.
That's the one I know.
Too.
That's the
Yeah,
one I
yeah. He
remember.
came out
That's
quick,
the
too.
one I remember.
Well, no, Dennis was there when you was there.
So who was the older guy at ABC?
Was he light skinned?
Yeah.
That was Fred
Fred
Smith.
Smith.
Okay, yeah.
Bald head. Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Had the hair like George Jefferson.
Yeah.
George Jefferson.
That's Fred Smith. Yeah. So, you
That's the one
know,
I remember.
so them guys, the whole point I'm making is all of them laid the bricks for the foundation. But Fred Smith and Fred Ledbetter, they kind of like took the baton.
Yeah, they did.
And
They took us
put-
to.
they
They
put
put
us
our
on the
name
map.
on the map. They
Put us
our
on
name
the map.
Right.
And what I'm saying is that the discipline that we learned in that gym, right, is something we also can go back and draw on. You know what I'm saying? Like the things we didn't do now become a tool that you can learn from. Like we was talking about Suggs. At the time, Suggs was running. Man, you see him at night running and stuff like that. I didn't run. I don't know about Glenn did. Glenn ran. But Glenn ran, right?
Him and Tony used to run.
Yeah. Glenn ran.
They used to run together sometimes, you know?
Now,
Not most of the time, but
I can't tell Glenn's story, but if Glenn didn't get off track doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? He probably would have been one of the best. What would you for? 156? 156. And him and Doc and Tony.
My mother thought he was the nicest person in the world.
I was going to say, I ain't get a chance to say that. When she passed, that hurt my heart when he told me that.
Yeah,
she thought he was the
That's
nicest
what he said
person
for
in the
you.
world.
When I told him you was coming, right?
Nothing but total respect from his mother, man. She loved me. Well, I love her the same way.
But when I told him,
Told me
he
she
said,
told
"Oh,
me I love
that's
her.
my people there."
Yeah, she told
And
me
he
I
spoke
love her.
good on you and Porky. Porky was supposed to come. Porky done, but that's all right. Call him up, man. Hold up, let me call him.
You fought 56.
Yeah, 156.
I fought 65.
Oh yeah, he was a little heavier than me, but I still fought 165.
But I didn't look 65. Like I said, we scared. You know, we fought up. What is it? What is the joint? Oak Crest.
Hillcrest.
Hillcrest.
Yeah, Yeah,
All the terminals at Hillcrest.
Yeah.
So I'm in there training, we warming up and everything. Little dudes come up to me and he said, man, you 47? I said, man, I'm to the phone. He said, I had to fight you, man. Because I didn't look 65, you know what I'm saying? I always look small.
Who don't?
Yeah, what I was. You know
Oh, yeah, policy, man. Yeah, hello.
Porgy,
Hello. Yes, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
are you on here? Yeah, I can't call him. I thought he did. Let me try it again.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah. And see, you know, and
Hold on, bro.
this right here, man. That's what it is. That's what it is, man. It's actually therapy, man, because you got to put the light on it, man. You got to name it. Oh, hold up. We might get action. Fuck it out.
Hey, man, hello, man. What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man? I apologize,
What's up,
man.
There you go.
Oh, man, I'm just cooling, man.
Here, man.
I know, I mean, it's my fault, man. Well, it's not, it slipped my mind in essence, man. It slipped my mind in essence, man. And I apologize, man, because I really wanted to be there, man. And mine, I'm thinking tomorrow. But I apologize, fellas, man. And sure enough, man, I really wanted to be there with my brothers, man. For real, man.
Man, we love you,
I hope
man.
y'all can hear me.
Look, we're going to charge it to your head, not your heart, man.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Real talk, man. I mean, can we do it over the phone? Are we on live? What we doing? Can I talk?
Yeah,
Can I talk with y'all?
You in the building?
Okay, how everybody doing?
Live broadcast, man.
Okay, that's what's up, man. How everybody doing, man? What's going on?
Good, man.
Bruce, what's happening?
We blessed early lives.
Hey, look, one of the best running
Glenn
backs I ever
in the
seen.
building.
Huh?
Oh man, thank you, bro. Thank you, Bruce. Glenn in the building.
Yeah, I'm here.
Glenn.
Yeah, what's up,
Hey, what's up, big brother?
My man.
I'm cooling, man. How you feeling, man?
You know I miss you, right?
Man, it's my fault, man. Yeah, man, I miss you too, big brother. But it's always great to hear from you and see when I get the opportunity to chat.
The love ain't lost.
So we're going to, hey, listen, we're going to do part 2
talk to me,
for this segment. Huh?
Oh, man, we could do a part 2, part 3. I mean, it should have been part 1. Again, I got to wear that. I apologize to all of y'all, man. But, yeah, next time I'll make sure I will definitely be on point, man. Put everything behind me, man. Straight up.
Ernie.
Yes, man. Yes.
We definitely can't charge it to your heart, man. Your heart one of the best, man. Always there.
Say that again, Bruce.
I said we definitely can't charge it to your heart.
Bruce.
You always had a good heart. Your heart always been good.
Hey, Porgy, I want you to do something.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Hey, Porgy.
Talk to me, Bruce. I mean, talk to me, Bruce.
My man Sly here, he's from Eastgate. He kind of helped raise me up too, right?
Yeah.
I want you to talk about, man, because relationships is very key to overcoming things in life, man. Healthy relationships.
Man,
and each and every person that's sitting here that you know, all of us had our own similar healthy relationship with each other, man.
Correct.
So do you want to share a little bit about, man, some things that you had challenges and how you've been overcoming, man?
Oh man, what, man? I mean, it's no hidden fact about what's going on with me right now, especially for those who know me, and when they get the opportunity to see me, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to overcome something that's severe. I'm trying to overcome it anyways with God's help, man. But it's something that I have to deal with, and it changed my life. My perspective on things in life, for real. And that's the fact that I was diagnosed with limb-girdle muscular dystrophy, brother. Despite the streets and all that other stuff, you know what I'm saying? Yes, I survived that part, but I'm not going to survive this part. You feel me? Because it's something that's going to be stuck with me for the rest of my life. So, yeah, that's what I'm dealing with right now, each and every day. You know what I mean? There's not a day that I. Go ahead, Boo. Go ahead, Boo. I'm sorry.
I said,
What we saying?
That you are inspiration, because
Man,
never
thank
have
you.
I seen you in a bad mood. I ain't never seen
Man,
you.
life is too short. Well, life's too short right now to be thinking about that type of stuff right now, brother, man. You know what I'm saying? I got so many other things on my mind.
Your mood is no different than when you was running 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns a game.
I guess that's the Libra in me, man. The God that's dwelling in me at all times. I just know wasn't in me. He was in me at that time. You know what I'm saying, man? But I'm thankful, brother, that I got an opportunity to be here. You know what I'm saying? For real, because we got a lot of friends that's not here. That didn't get a chance to or survive those hard times or that era that we all survived and we can sit and talk about right now, bro. And when I say not survive, I'm talking about they don't have to be dead. They just could be walking around looking like a zombie right now. Ain't got nothing going on in their lives right now. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ernie.
Talk to me, man. Yes.
I don't know if I ever told you, but you inspired me, though. Because I know you before you had was diagnosed with your illness you had. You know what I mean? And I always, well, I ain't gonna say I always wonder, because you show a great spirit, even in your current situation, right? Your spirit.
Come close to the mic, Bruce. I can hear you, Bruce. Come a little close so I can hear you.
Your spirit never changed, you know what I mean? And that's important, you know what I mean? Because sometimes, man, we go through traumatic things in our life that changes for the worse. You know what I'm saying? And for you to still, man, get up every day, man, and thrive in your condition, and you still trying to be a leader. You know what I'm saying? You ain't shrink back because of your condition.
And then
Hey, Boo, man, I'm sorry, man, but I'm sorry to hear my brother, man. I'm sorry to hear my brother. I really couldn't hear what he was saying to me, man. I want to understand what he was saying to me, man. Can we get a little clearer in the mic or something, man? Closer to the mic for me.
Hey,
I didn't really hear what Bruce was saying to me.
Can you hear me?
Okay, Bruce, there we go. Yes, I can hear you, brother, man. I can hear you, man. I hear you. Yes, I do.
I was saying that you always been an inspiration, man, because I knew you before, you was diagnosed with your condition, right? And your spirit never changed.
Yes.
Even though, sometimes I think, sometimes I wonder, I say, do he get down on himself because, he see us, other people being able to move around like they, like normal people, but you confined to, not being as mobile as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? And I used to wonder, man, how it did you emotionally, right? But I don't anymore because I watch you every day, man. I watch you thrive and overcome every day. You never let your, even if you feel down sometimes, you never allow your situation, man, to hold you back. And I admire that.
Bruce, man, to answer just to reflect on that there, man. I'm human just like everyone else out here, But over the years coming up out here, abroad in the streets and whatnot, man, we learn how to deal with certain things a certain way, man. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I agree. Shit, don't get it twisted, man. But I do it in my own way. You dig what I'm saying, man? I do it in my own way, in my own time, in my own space. When I first found about this, fellas, sure it was a shock to me, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I got so many things going through my mind, like, dang, why me? You know what I'm saying? I'm not everybody going on around in my family, whatnot. Why me? You know what I'm saying? But understand, fellas, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna be real with y'all, man. Like I said, I haven't told this story, but I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all, man. It was like this, man. This was kind of helped me. Maybe I might be getting a little bit off subject, fellas, but I gotta say this here. It's like this, man. I feel like this. I've done so much out here in these streets, man. You know what I'm saying? That a lot of the people that you all didn't know, God knew. You know what I'm saying, man? And understand this, man. I took a life. I played a part in taking somebody's life, bro. Although I didn't pull the trigger, but I'm just as guilty as he was because I was with him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Does that make sense, fellas? Does that make sense?
Yep.
Catch up with me now. So, therefore, although but didn't pull the trigger. But I was with the brother. My intention was to hurt the dude at the same time. My intention was all messed up. You dig what I'm saying? For real. And God knew that. You dig? So fast forward, we go through the whole situation. My man, he stand up like a dude, like a soldier that he is. He took what was given to him. He did it. He came home. I did the same thing. I stood up, took what they gave me, and kept my mouth shut, did what I had to do, came on home. But understand, karma, motherfucker, you feel me? My man did all that time. He got out. He healthy as a motherfucker running around here now. But me, I got a motherfucking illness that I can never get rid of. And it's possible. It's the rest of my life. You dig what I'm saying? And I'm in pain all the time, fellas. Even when you see me smiling and laughing all the time, trust me, man, there's some pain somewhere in that motherfucker smile. You dig what I'm saying? That I got to deal with every single day. So I took that as my life sentence, man, because again, how I put the roles and all the bullshit that I have done over a period of time. You dig what I'm saying? So that way helped me really, for real. And it may sound kind of crazy, but that way it made me help me deal with it, man, because I was like, fuck it, I did a lot of crazy stuff. That could have been my mama. That could have been, you know what I'm saying? That could have been, my nephew. That could have been somebody very, very close to me that lost their life. And I was acting like an animal. And I had no reason in doing so. For real. No reason in doing so, man.
Port.
Yeah.
It's, like I said earlier today, God don't make no mistakes, right? And what I'm trying to tell you is, man, I ain't talking about what you said. I'm getting ready to share something with you that counteracts what you said. I'm telling you, man, God is a pardon God. Man, hey, man, we used to talk about grace. Grace is undeserved merit, man. And the most thing that I like to be pardoned for is my eternal soul. The other stuff, man, it's gonna be rough down here, man. Man, I lost a child, Port. You know what I'm saying? And look, and I was.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, my brother. Sorry to hear that, man.
I was in the street.
Yeah.
I didn't take any of my responsibilities when they was little. So I could beat myself up and say this is a punishment from God. But guess how he using whatever I went through and now for his own glory. He using what you going through. You hear what Bruce said? Bruce said you inspire him. And I told you
and Bruce know I
me, man.
Look.
So
and I appreciate that, Bruce.
What you going through, man? And man, I wish you didn't have to go through it. The guy you talking about, man, when I went to the penitentiary, I was in there with him.
So you understand what's going on. Yeah, I mean, you like to I don't know,
wait full circle, and the guy ended up playing in my band.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You told. I forgot. That's right. I forget.
We grew up together.
That's right. That's right. Fam, I plumb forgot about that. You absolutely right. You did what I'm saying, man. So you understand where I'm coming from.
But guess what?
Yeah.
I tell you this, and I know for a fact that man got nothing but love and respect for you.
And that's and likewise, man. Likewise. You know what I'm saying? If I told you. If I could tell you what he did for himself, because I knew that my gun didn't fire, so I knew I didn't kill a boy. I knew that. My lawyers knew that. We knew that off the rip. But that young brother right there was so gangster with it. I don't know if he even shared this with you, but him and his daddy came in my preliminary hearing, man, to turn yourself in. They walked in. You did. I don't know too many young motherfuckers would have did that, but he did that for me. Him and his father walked in during my preliminary hearing and turned himself in.
And look, we had a band in there. We had a band in the penitentiary.
Wow.
The joint was only 4 months old when we got shit.
Right.
Like I said, ain't nothing out of order, man. I ended up
meeting one of my best
friends in Fairfax jail. And he just died not too long ago. Hart, that I told you about, Rodney Hart. There, right by the shrimp boat where I grew up hanging at with this guy sliding there.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew him.
I'm sorry to hear that.
In Fairfax jail. And he became one of my best
friends.
Man.
Yeah, man. Do stand up. Yeah. And Bruce, thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Bruce, man. You know, so I appreciate. You know, you know, it's no secret. Bruce, I always say I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Go to church, right? So he used to always tell me. He said, "Man, whenever you put I used to put my name on everything positive." So he said, "Man, whenever you sign your name on the list,
Boo, you say that?
like, man, I ain't put your name." Then I said, "You know, God might be using me."
See?
Boo, y'all still there? Yeah, there.
Yeah, we still here.
Bruce,
Bruce, you got talking in the mic.
So I started signing his name on all everything, all the programs that I wanted to go to. I signed his name on.
Okay.
Yeah. But I didn't know him before that.
Right.
I mean, for incarceration, I didn't know him. But right now to the day, man, he like 67 years old. But that's my guy, man.
And then check this out, y'all.
I mean, we like family.
Right. You don't know what God gonna do, Porgy. And I'm just telling you that, man, because I done seen a whole lot of miracles just dealing with my own life, man. Some of Glenn brother right here. I mean, Glenn right here, man. I remember me and my brother was in the same spot. I leave the spot and get robbed and shot right there, right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And guess what? I still got the bullet in my back right now. And we had a homeboy in the wheelchair then. Me and him got shot in the same spot in our back.
Oh wow, yeah.
We both showed the same,
man.
And I'm not.
That's a blessing.
But the point I'm making is though, there's still the most damage we do is to our own spirit, man. So that's what I'm saying, man.
Oh yeah.
Regardless of how you physically going through something, man, your spirit is alive.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
I'm telling you, everybody's
and I agree, and that's
like
what
yours, Porgy. I'm telling you, everybody's spirit ain't like yours. Nobody would. I'm telling you, I ain't saying majority of dudes call themselves thorough and all that. They wouldn't share the stuff that we sharing right now.
I think that's I get joy out of it because I want a brother or sister to know what's going on in my life. I don't have no problem with sharing it with them. They're saying what's going on with me because it's therapy for me. Because if I hold that shit in, man, I might go around here and hang myself somewhere. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
when you look at this when you look at this clip, man, I said it was a classic, right? When you look at this clip, man,
I just wish I should have been.
Before we were talking,
man.
We was talking about sharing, putting things in the light is therapy. And you just confirmation. You just said the same thing.
You know what, man?
Yeah, man. I get it. Personally, I get a joy out of it, man. I want to do what Bruce just did. Bruce did something I've been wanting to do for quite some time, to go back to where we was at one time and talk to the youngins. You know what I mean? So they need to know my story. My story goes deeper than that. You know what I mean?
I was telling that I attempted suicide, I talked to them. They were like, "Man, nah, not you, Bruce. Nah, not you." I said, "Why not me?"
Right, you human.
I'm human.
Right.
See, Bruce, I tell you, my daughter died, right? He said she hung herself at her
job
in Baltimore.
So, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Bruce. Boo, I'm sorry to hear that.
I mean, I'm laying in the bed.
Man.
I got this.
Wow.
Man, I'm saying this time to do it right. You know what I mean?
My condolences, man.
You know how many people since I've been working in the recovery field, they come into the unit where I'm at and say they want to take their life after my daughter already. It didn't start happening really till after my daughter passed, right? And then God allowed me to sit down and talk to them. And when they leave there, they said, "Man, thank you. I want to live." Now here's the hit. It's him using me. It ain't me.
No, it ain't me. Definitely ain't.
It ain't me.
That's what I told you about earlier about people coming in your life. You came into their life. I'll use you as an instrument. And then other people's lives, they didn't even know it until they realized. So, Dad, you know what? He helped me. That's the guy that was their blessing.
But listen, we down there where I seen you at, right? Man, think about how me and you and that guy was down there rapping, right? And all those puzzle pieces was together. I ain't even know the dude. You know.
Yeah.
But all the puzzle, am I lying?
Yeah.
All the puzzle pieces from people he knew in DC that I knew.
Yeah, Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly.
See, all things work together.
They knew the same people.
Yeah, we knew the same people.
That's right.
And that's just how I go. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
But like I say,
and
he's Kelly is a real good friend of mine, man. He in recovery is like I say you are. He gives it's nothing but positive energy that comes from him. See what I'm saying? Those type of dudes I'm always around.
Yeah.
See, I'm not ashamed to say that God pulled me out of hell, man.
Yeah, he did for me too.
You know,
And it wasn't long
and
ago.
then I got people
Right.
like you, Porky. I'm grateful for having people like you in my life, man, and people like Bruce.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
You know, Glenn, Sly. I love, man. Listen, man. I love hard. You know what I'm saying? Like the people God put in my life, just like the people that go to church with me. You know, Pastor Q, Woody Woods, and his wife, the dude Sean and Tasha. You know, all them people that me and Tasha come to find out, you know, I was on her talk show one time. And now she at the same,
Okay.
at the same church.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? It's no coincidence, man. And look, and
That's
then
our sister right
come to
there,
find
man.
out, Tasha, man, brother is with the girl that worked with me. And all of a sudden they walk in the joint. I'm thinking, I said, well, she my co-worker. And all the time, that's Tasha, man, brother.
Yeah.
See, I mean, all this stuff, man,
That's
it's
a
not
small world.
coincidence, man. Me and Woody was, he helped run the Madness shop.
Right.
Me and him talking when my band was rolling. I go up there and give him the CD. You know what I'm saying? We started kicking, we just blended.
Right.
The next thing you know, I didn't know he was in that church. Then the dude, Pastor Q, I was friends with his uncle, never knew that was family.
Right.
His uncle is Earthquake, the comedian's brother. My man Ty and Marcel, they from Conter. I've been friends with them, been knowing them since we was teenagers.
That's his brother.
His Earthquake brother, and Earthquake is Pastor Q's uncle. All of them is uncle.
Wow.
His mama, who come to church with us, is their older sister, Earthquake older sister. So I didn't know that though, because I had him on this show. Because I seen him on Facebook, kept on grinding. So I said, man, I'm gonna get dude to come on. I like that he was not traditional. You know what I'm saying? And he was like us.
Woody still got a shop?
Yeah, no, he run the Madness shop.
Yeah.
Ed and them, Ed and them Ty.
I know he's
Yeah, they are Waldo.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Sister. Tiny sister.
Look, that's our time. But listen, homie, Porgy.
Yeah, I'm right here.
Man, we love you, man.
I'm right here.
And we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have to do round 2. I'm saying it right when we're on camera. We're gonna have to do a second part to this, man. And we got to do it. So you got to be here. If we got to come and pick you up, I'll send Manu that.
Man, I promise you, I had to come pick me up. You know, I just needed to get there. You didn't have to do none of that. It's my fault, you know what I'm saying, that I had my time and my dates wrong. But no.
We said we learn from our mistakes. We're going to pick you up next time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get big. I mean, I love to see y'all. I want to feel like that shit. I want to see y'all. I love to see you. You know what I mean? It's tough.
Much love to you.
And
like what, man?
Share what you had to share.
I said what I had to say.
And BB, hey BB.
Glenn, Glenn like he is quiet. Glenn like he always been quiet, laid back. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So Glenn know what the respect that guy level for him. He already know what it is. That's my OG.
Glenn got one of the vicious jabs that I ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, he know I was around when he was knocking heads. Big brother know I was around when he was knocking heads. That's my road dog right there, man. Straight up.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Him, man, it's nothing but love and respect for him and his brother, man. Real talk.
Same dude, because I'm knowing.
But see, and that's the thing, man. I can say that about everybody that is in this conversation. They never change. So we out of here, same time, man, in D-Mill Show, the talk show that matters. We right back here next month, the last Thursday, 7 p.m. sharp. But man, we had a good time. Love you guys, man. Thanks for coming by. Man, and we're gonna eat good when we finish this thing. But the food is on the table. And I like to thank my wife, man, Teresa, man, because
Thank you, dog.
She always
Thank you, Teresa.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah. Oh man.